Hey, my name is Achim Schlöffel, InnerSpace Explorers, and today I would like to talk to you a little bit about clips, D-rings on the backplate, and why we clip what item to which position. As you can see, I have a backplate on, all classical 2 D-rings on the shoulders, 1 hip D-ring, 1 front D-ring, everything as you know it. And as you can also see, the primary regulator is already clipped. And that brings me to the size of the clips. What you can see here is a 1/2 inch Boltsnap, a very small one. Obviously, when I have the regulator in my mouth, I don't want a huge clip there, which puts drag on it, and it makes it easy for me to have an entanglement or something. And on the other hand, when I clip the regulator, it should be big enough that I can easily take it and put it away. And so this size is quite nice, and it's the smallest one available, and ideally for this purpose. So that brings me to the other sizes that you use. The next thing we have is a 3/4 inch Boltsnap, and the size I'm talking about, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, is always the eye of the Boltsnap. So it's not the general size, it's just the eye. So this is the one that you normally use for a stage, on the lower part of the stage, on the tail, so to speak. You can, that's a pretty general size that you can basically use for everything, but I usually like to go a little bit smaller when it comes to permanent attachments. The next size is the 1 inch Boltsnap. That's the one where you can easily stick your finger through to manipulate it. That's, for example, the one that you use on the stage, on the neck, and that's basically it. A lot of people like to use it on the SPG, because there you can also relatively easy take it like that and then clip the SPG. As you can see here, there's a big one on it, and I use it like this. A lot of people do this. But anyway, it's so long that it can easily fit my hand, even if I use dry gloves, and then my thumb uses it to open the gate, and I have the index finger goes and finds the D-ring, and then I hook it. So that makes it easy. The next thing is the so-called working double-ender. There's a couple of different sizes, small ones, big ones, long ones. I use, that's for example a little bit shorter one. I have big hands, so I like the longer ones. I have a marking on mine because they tend to disappear somewhere. If they have the marking, they stay a little bit longer. And the working double-ender is on the right shoulder D-ring. So when I shoot an SMB and, for example, I drop the Boltsnap from the spool, if I have a problem on one of the lights or something, I can always use the working double-ender to jump in and fix the issue. So on the very outside is always my regulator, and the next thing is the working double-ender. So it has a fixed position, and by simply going there with my hand, not looking, I can feel what I have, and I know the sequence. And obviously the regulator, which is the most important thing for me, goes on the outside, and then comes the working double-ender. So the third thing that we have is the backup light. So the real backup light, which is the backup for my primary light, goes on the left side. And as you know, we always clip like this, but the backup lights are clipped upside down because they are normally already attached. And the reason is, if I go somewhere really close, the backup light is a life-saving equipment. Basically, I cannot open it accidentally if I scratch over a surface with this one, because the gate is on the inside. The other thing is, I can always feel what is my backup light, because I can feel that this is the one that is clipped from the different direction. So if we go overhand, we have a second one, which is not a backup light, but it is, you know the procedure. You clip it in the line. If you lost the dive, you have to leave the cave, etc., etc. The other thing is that it is quite nice to have it because it holds the D-ring down, which makes clipping for you easier, especially if you're starting with this. I heavily recommend a second backup light, because if it is there, this problem, let me show that for a second. You go there and you want to clip, and the D-ring is somewhere up there, and you have a problem getting it, and then you need the other hand, pull it down and clip, So if your backup light is in there and it is attached with the bungee there, it's very easy to clip because the D-ring is always in a fixed position, right? You can always easily find it. So, and now on the outside is our primary regulator, working double ender, and our backup light. So the fourth thing going on that right shoulder D-ring is our primary light. In this case it's the ISE version of that, so it has no cord, but it doesn't make a difference. Even if it is one with a cord, it would go in the same position, and it goes on the inside. So I have four things here, and they're in a clear sequence: regulator, double ender, backup light, primary light. So also when I do, for example, a circle of basics, same thing, always try to get in the same position. So when you clip the primary light, really make sure you go and clip it from the inside, so it always goes on the same position. If this becomes a habit, it will be very easy for you to sort your gear. On the left side, we basically only have the backup light, and obviously when we start clipping stages, stage goes here and stage goes here. If you clip the stage or any other item, always make sure that the SPG is on top, so the stage would go here and the SPG would be on top. As you can see, we have another couple of snaps here that I see frequently, and I just would like to point out what is wrong on them. So this is a Bros snap, and some of them have stainless steels in here. This one obviously doesn't, because it's really rotted, and at some point they rust and they rot away, and either they stick open because the spring's gone, or they are closed permanently and you cannot use them. So this is crap and it can go. Then this is what we call a suicide clip. I frequently see sport divers using this, and the big issue here is that something goes in here and it's stuck, right? So a couple of really bad stories when people hook themselves to gear. For example, I've seen somebody on a gun rail of a ship, when he tried to jump in the water, he got stuck there, and actually they had to cut it free because this is jammed. You have no way to open it up, so this can go as well. And then the last thing that I frequently see is the climbing hook that you can lock down. This is great for climbing, but it has no use underwater. First of all, most of them is aluminium, so in saltwater they corrode like crazy, and then they stick open, and in an emergency you cannot open them, so same thing can go, no need for that. Alright, that's it. It was a quick one. I hope it answers a couple of the frequently asked questions, and have fun practicing.